Well, I was certainly right in thinking that the NRL round 13 was difficult to pick. Let's see the damage and get picking for round 14. So we only had 5 games last week and it did not go well. That's basically the be all and end all of it. But on Thursday, it was Eels versus Sharks, and as I thought might happen, my predictions were going to swing the wrong way. And it was a high-scoring game, to be fair. I did Sharks by 8, but the Eels won by 34, and that is pushing them up the table slightly into a position where, it may give them a little bit of hope, but probably not great. But Sharks do still sit top. That's because of some bad results from other teams. Friday, Knights versus Bulldogs, and look at this, 17% of people. Well done if you picked the Bulldogs to win this. I thought it'd be close. I did Knights to win by 4, but Knights got absolutely obliterated and lost by 30. Ouch. Not good. That pushes Bulldogs up to 10th. They are still neck and neck with 12 points, 6 wins each. So a really, really close, I would have thought. Saturday, this is very disappointing. Very disappointing. So my team, the Panthers, 6%. Well done if you are that 6%. Went for the Dragons. I did not see this coming. Dragons have not been great. They are now 6 wins, 6 losses. Panthers, disappointing. Really, really disappointing. I did Panthers to win by 10. They actually lost by 12. But we could sort of see this happening potentially last week, couldn't we? Then Dolphins versus Raiders. This is one I got right. I did Raiders by 4, but by 1 point. 1 point. I'm taking it and I'm running with it. That's what I'm going to say. By 1 point, the Raiders won. So I'm taking that. And I went for the underdog, so I'm happy about that. That got me some points that some other people didn't. That's a plus. But Sunday, the last game, was Roosters versus Cowboys. And once again, the underdogs won. There is one person that got the correct score as well and the right result. Not good. Let's see what that does to the table. Well, looking at the table, there is no change in the top 3. That is very, very tight contest there. What's that? 4 points separating the top 3. Very, very tight. Adelaide Bulldog up 1. Good movement by New Elijah, though, up 7. Brupel down 2. Up 7 is Stormy May, well done. We get to the wooden spoon already, and that is Felix W. Unlucky, buddy. But there's some more movement there. K-Power up 6. I haven't moved at all. Pie Boy down 4. I have not moved at all. I am still in 24th place. I don't understand how, but maybe lots of other people got them wrong as well. But if you see, the golden hat goes to Scott Hill, up 3 places. And here we are with the rest of you. Better luck next time if you have gone down, like some people have. Okay, I've got my notes ready for round 14. Let's get cracking. We start on Friday the 7th at the Wynn Stadium, Wollongong. I love Wollongongs. That name is awesome. Dragons versus West Tigers. And there surely is only going to be one result here. West Tigers at the moment now cannot buy a win. They have been poor. They started off with some surprise results, and that is it. So, confidence low, but Dragons surely should come off here with a tidy win for sure. The form is certainly pointing that out. That could get Dragons up a little bit, and Dragons still may have some hope of reaching the finals for sure. So I think I'm going to go. I'm going to go with a Dragons win. At the end of the day, look, fair play to them. They beat a weakened Panthers side. It was a weakened Panthers side in the horrible rain, but they've got enough, right? So I'm going to do Dragons by 10. Come on, St. George. Do you know St. George was probably Turkish? Anyway. Yeah, let's continue. Saturday the 8th, we've got Titans versus Rabbitohs. Now, this is a weird one to call because Rabbitohs managed to pick up a win last time out, which was like, how? But they did really well. But ultimately, they are having a terrible season, okay? Titans, though, are only just above them. So it's not easy to call. I think Titans will be stronger. It's not an easy one to call. I think you have to go Titans. Titans obviously come off a win as well. They're at the Seabus Stadium, so they're at home. Titans by 6. You know, at the end of the day, I think this is pointing to a fairly close game, potentially. Doesn't mean it will be, but it's potentially a tight game. With the standings, with the form, Titans haven't exactly been special, but they have managed to get a few results that the Rabbitohs haven't. So, let's go. Yeah, Titans by 6. Next, Queensland Country Bank Stadium. Cowboys, who have won their last 3, against Warriors, who've won their last 2. So both teams are sort of picking up a little bit of form for sure. Now, the Warriors rebounded quite nicely with 2 wins after what was a pretty horrible spell. They obviously come off a bye last week. They didn't have a game last week, so they should be hopefully a little bit more refreshed. So that's good for them. They defeated the Dolphins with 11 players missing. So, yeah, I think Cowboys. Yeah, the Cowboys players, you know, some of their bigger stars may be a little bit fatigued. So I think it is possibly pointing to a Warriors win here. I think the negatives are going towards the Cowboys. I know they've got 3 wins in a row, but I think things are pointing better for the Warriors. But it should still be a very, very tight game. So I am going to go with a Warriors win. This is going to be tight. Hopefully it's going to be tight by 4 points. I think with the Cowboys have more quality, but the fatigue and things like that don't think helps them. So yeah, Warriors by 4. Then Suncorp Stadium, Broncos versus Sharks. Now, obviously, again, yeah, Sharks 2 losses in a row now, haven't they? So I don't know. Broncos are starting to get a little bit of form, but obviously lost in their last round. But I think those 2 losses back to back for Sharks are a little bit painful. I know they're still sitting top of the table, but they should have been looking to really push away, especially with, for example, Penrith's performance and their loss. I expect you can see most of the money's clearly going for the Broncos, who are playing at home. And I think I'm going to go with that. I think Sharks may be slipping a little bit, and I'm hoping this is the opportunity for Penrith to push ahead. That's what I'm hoping for. So I'm going to go with a Broncos win, and I'm going to go by 8. Broncos win by 8. Yeah, there you go. That should be a really, really interesting game, actually. Should be really interesting. Sunday, the 9th at AAMI Park. Storm versus Knights. Once again, not an easy one to call, I don't think. I know Storm are definitely the favourites for this, so we've got to think about this. Knights obviously won 4 in a row, but lost their last game. Storm obviously have been pretty decent. Their form has been pretty good. But they obviously lost their last game as well. But Knights were dreadful last week. That, I think you got to look at that especially. They only got 2 points. That is awful. I'm sorry, that's awful. And I just really, they probably won't turn up against the Storm. If they're going to play that badly last time out, they are now playing Storm, who, yeah, a couple of poor results in the last 3, but they are a strong team. Yeah, I know Melbourne have obviously some Origin players backing up, but I still think they should be able to beat a struggling Knights team. So I'm going to go with a Storm win by 16. Yeah, 16. A decent win for Storm, hopefully. Then Bluebet Stadium in Penrith. Panthers, come on boys. Panthers versus Sea Eagles. interesting one again, because obviously, Panthers, it's very same form as Storm there. 2 losses, and last week's loss wasn't great. They haven't been consistent enough in the last few weeks, have they? They could they could struggle against Manly. Manly, you know, they did lose 3, but they got a good result last time out. I don't know. They were beaten last week without Origin players. And we mentioned this. There are Origin players that are out. So we're going to see. Will people like Jerome Luai and his teammates be up for the game? Hopefully. As I'm supporting Panthers, I'm going to go with a tight Panthers win. This is not easy to call at all. I'm going to go with a Panthers win, being at home as well. Some players back. Panthers win by 6. Tight one. Panthers win by 6. Then last game of the week is on Monday, and it is at Stadium Australia. Bulldogs versus Eels. Now, obviously, as you saw right at the start, the Eels managed to beat the Sharks last week. Fantastic for them. Fantastic for them. Dogs are sitting... My dog's going crazy, literally, as I said, dog. Sniffing around for a ball, probably. The Dogs are sitting just outside the 8. So, you know, they still have a good chance of making that top 8 for sure. There's not a lot... There is more support going for the Eels, isn't there? But I think that's partly because of their win last week. I think I'm gonna go with Dogs, and that's... I think Eels managed to get a good win last week against a team that was not as strong in terms of players out. So I think Bulldogs are going to have enough here, in my opinion. So I'm going to go with a Dogs win by 6. Not easy again. So for this week's picks, we've gone Dragons by 10. I say we've gone, I've gone. Titans by 6. Warriors by 4. Broncos by 8, Storm by 16, Panthers by 6, and the Bulldogs by 6 as well. Some close games there that could go either way again. It may be a repeat of last week. It may be a complete swing of last week. There are some difficult ones to call for sure, and actually the NRL, especially, well, not necessarily the bottom few, but it's still open for teams to get into those playoff finals for sure. And therefore, you're going to get surprise results because the table is so close. With things like State of Origin and things, and certain players going to play in that, it messes things up, right? I'd be annoyed if I was some of these bigger teams that lost some of these bigger players, and then you give results away when you shouldn't really. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully it is better than last week, and hopefully I'll be on the up again. Fingers crossed. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll catch you next week.